Shalom Aleichem. I noticed on the board I'm supposed to speak about how to end the curses of this year and start the blessings of next year. Frankly, I don't know how to do that. But I think perhaps because we're looking forward to a new year, I think perhaps best, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask the question, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter. And that way we will end all the curses. The curses is that you don't have an answer for what's going on. Why is this happening, right? The blessing is that you know what's going on. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
I'm not going to go into details, but we live in Manchester.
Hold on. I'm over 80, and I have hearing loss, so loud and clear.
Thank you for offering to answer some questions. I'm from Manchester, originally from Scotland, which is why I have a funny accent. We suffered a trauma about 18 months ago with our 15-year-old boy, who is vulnerable, and he was taken advantage of. And I'm obviously not going to go into detail, but my wife and I and the rest of our family are really struggling to see how that is good. And it's a difficult topic, and I understand that Hashem is good, and I'm working on my Emunah, and I've come here partly the first time to try and get some answers and a closer connection, because I'm really struggling with how Hashem in His infinite wisdom can cause that to happen, and that's good.
Okay. One of the things that is not discussed often in Judaic circles is reincarnation. Right? It's not discussed. Gilgulim. The Zohar talks about it. The Arizal goes into details about it. We don't know what. We do know that what people did in previous lifetimes has an effect on what's happening in their life today. And people may have been involved in certain activities 200 years ago or 300 years ago, and they are now reliving what happened then on a different scale in order to be able to rectify that which was done then. Right? You have today, I mean, this is a very sensitive topic, but you have a lot of people who undergo what they call a sex change, right? Why? I mean, it just boggles the mind, right? If you change from a man to a woman, you're never a woman and you're not a man. So then what's going on, right? This is a very sensitive topic. Fact remains, though, that a lot of these people were violated voluntarily, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, and now their tendency is to follow that type of a relationship that they had. So that's why these things happen, right? People are rectifying. The Arizal in Shara Kavonos, in the very beginning, has a very, very pointed lesson. He says, Hakdoma achas liyemois HaMashiach, a short introduction to the days of Mashiach. What is that introduction? He said, in the time of the destruction of the temple, a lot of people did very serious sins. And because the destruction took place quickly, not everybody got the punishment that was due them. So they come back in this world and they suffer different punishments, all because of what happened 2,000 years ago, and so on. We do not have any idea what's going on. We can't. The world, as you know, is entirely crazy today. Absolutely insane, right? And that's what it is today. People today are being challenged to rectify their past lives. And let's say 90% at least are failing, right? That's what's happening. When something difficult happens to a person, it may be poverty, it may be health. I mean, why are children born handicapped? What'd the kid do? Never did anything wrong. He's a kid. He just was born. They were born without arms, without fingers, without legs. They were kids. What'd they do? These are all reincarnations that happened a few hundred years ago, and they're now coming back for rectification in their present state. Follow? Now, it doesn't make life much easier. It doesn't. But it does give you an understanding that things happened, and now we're looking for the rectification of it. And that is where the key. If you look for the rectification, then you will find it. Right? That's the point. That's what we have to focus upon in this generation. Right? I mean, if I look at myself, I said I'm past 80, right? I look back at my 80 years, right? You don't want to hear the charge sheet that heaven has against me. You don't want to hear it, right? I know it. I know it. And I'm ashamed, and I have problems, and I have to go to Hashem every year, tell him I messed up again, right? I tried, I messed up again, right? But I know that it's my chance now for rectification, especially by Rabbi Nachman, especially, because Rabbi Nachman is working to rectify our neshamas. Okay? So if you look at it that way, you have an opening how to find solace in what happened, and in Mirz Hashem, it will come full cycle and it will be repaired. Okay? We're on the same page?
Yep.
Okay.
I've been listening to a lot of shirim, and especially Torah 61, Amunas Chachamim and Tzaddikim, and I haven't heard one word the whole time. That's actually been bothering me a little bit, and the word is hishtadlus. I haven't heard a single word about a person's own effort to try and do something, get out of the situation. I've heard eitzas, what to do, how to do it, different focuses. Can the Rav speak about that, please?
Hishtadlus, our efforts, right? It's a very important thing. What is our effort? The only thing I can tell you is one word, tefillah, prayer to Hashem. Because, well, we are in this world, and this world is a constriction. There are things we can't do, right? And there are things we can do. So we have to try and do what we can do and avoid the things we can't do, okay? Now, what can I really do? How powerful am I to, I want a bank account of $5 million or something, right? Can I really do that? I mean, some people have it, most people don't, right? If I want good health and I feel ill and whatnot, there's a problem. So how much could a person really control in this world? We have politicians, forget it. I mean, they're not worth anything, right? So the main ishtadlus that you could do is davening to Hashem, because He can do it. Hashem could do anything. He can make a circle from a square. He can make a triangle from a square, right? He can do anything, right? If you're invoking His power, then you're bringing down that power to yourself to be able to accomplish what it is you want. Okay? I'm 47 years in the business of translating and publishing Rabbi Nachman. 47 years. I have a magnet in my office. I started off with nothing, and I still have most of it. Right? I never had a penny. I never had a backer, right? I just felt that the world needs Rebbe Nachman. I started publishing, okay? And I never had money to cover our expenses. But I always believed in Hashem. And I always turned to Him. And I said, Hashem, if it's the right thing to do, then show me. If it's the wrong thing, then stop me. And I said those words. So it's 47 years, I'm still going. So it has to tell you that when you have shtadlis, I mean, what could I do? I have no money, I have no office, I have no printing press, I have nothing. I can't even translate properly, right? I can have editors, they fix it up to work for me, but I can't do it, right? So what is all this, right? It's all tefillah. Hashem, send me the right people, help us them, send us the money, send us the funding, and let us do it. And we did it. We did it. We have about 250 books, right? We have like 90 in English, 90 in Spanish. We have about 30 in French. We have about 50, 60 in Hebrew, modern Hebrew, not the regular Hebrew from the Svarim. We have books in Russian, and we're still going. So what is this shtadlis? Tefillah. Daven to Hashem. Because what else could you really do? What else? Right? Something is beyond you. How can you get that thing beyond you? You daven, Hashem is beyond you, and He can bring it to you. Okay?
A follow-up question to his question. I had a discussion.
Loud and clear.
I'm sorry. I have a follow-up question to his. I spoke with a little bit of a mashpia for me, and he told me, not from Breslov, so he told me, he kind of made away a little bit this whole Breslov thing, daven, daven, daven. He tells me, davening without a strategy is nothing. It's basically just reliving, and it's victimhood. He gave me this whole schmooze. Is it true or false?
False. False. I mean,
You don't need a strategy while you're davening?
you need a strategy because you have to know what you're davening for. If you learn Torah, you see the Shulchan Aruch says this, the Gemara says this, the Medrash this, whatever, Sefer, Musa, whatever, right? They say this. Hashem, how do I get to that? So that's as simple as that. I mean, how do I get to that level of Yiras Hashem? How do I get to the level of being able to be a good Jew? Right? I'm putting on tzitzis in the morning, right? Big deal. What am I accomplishing by that? It's a mitzvah for Hashem. Help me feel the mitzvah of tzitzis. Help me feel the mitzvah of tefillin. Help me enjoy Shabbos. Help me enjoy what Shabbos is all about, right? Shabbos is me'ein olam haba. It's like a thing. What's your Shabbos like? You come home from shul, you make kiddush, you eat a meal, you go to sleep. You go to shul in the morning, make kiddush, eat a meal, go to sleep. That's olam haba. Is that the world to come? Is it? No, there's got to be something more to Shabbos than that, right? And I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to make kiddush and I'm going to go to sleep, right? There's going to, but I have to feel Shabbos. I have to feel what the beauty of Shabbos is all about. Hashem, help me feel the beauty of Shabbos. Help me feel the beauty of Pesach, the Seder, right? That wonderful Seder when we sit there falling asleep by the Maggid until we get to the Morah, right? Right? I mean, what's the Seder, right? There's something to it. Help me feel what that Yiddishkeit is all about, right? We're now Rosh Hashanah. Tonight, another few hours. We're on trial for nothing less than our life. Do you feel the fear? The Badisha V'Rov, Levi Yitzchak Badisha, Zechron Levracha, used to come, Rosh Chodesh Elul, he said, Sheshtechtem the places. His shoulders hurt from the fear of Rosh Hashanah. That he said, Rosh Chodesh Elul. Are we like that tonight? Are we? No. Yes, you need a strategy, but you need to know what you're davening for. You need to know. And that's what Breslov teaches you. Speak to Hashem. Tell him, I want to get up in the morning and I want to wash Negovasa and I want to put on tzitzis and tefillin and I want to daven nicely, right? I may not daven with all the koyach and the kavanah that I can, but I want to daven where I feel the davening. It means something to me. What's wrong with that?
The same thing in Gashmis also? Like,
Same thing in
you
Gashmi,
have
yes.
no idea what you're
I need
doing.
parnasa. I need good health. I need shalom bayis. I need my kids to behave.
What about that deal that I have no strategy for?
Huh?
What about that deal that I have no strategy for?
Daven that you should know what you're doing. Right? Daven that you should know what you're doing. How many of us do things without really knowing what we're doing?
Right.
Right?
Shkoya, thank you.
Baruch Hashem, we're lucky to be here. What are we supposed to think about tomorrow? What are we supposed to think about by shofar when we hear the shofar?
You're supposed to hear the shofar. The Rambam says the shofar is blown, right, to teach the people fear, to bring to them yira shemayim. That's what the shofar is for. There's a lot more to it, but shofar shin vav is the same gematria as dvash, honey, or isha, which is considered the dinim, right? And the par, the pei reish, represents there's something called 280 dinim, which is why a par was brought as a sacrifice so that we alleviate and mitigate the dinim, right? When you hear the shofar, you daven that you want to hear the sound of the shofar that brings you close to Hashem. That's what it's all about. All right? Questions? Any questions?
I was going to ask you to go back to the.
Louder and clearer.
I was going to ask you to clarify a little bit more, or just help me understand better when you said reincarnation. It's the full cycle, and I wasn't sure what you meant by the full cycle. You know that you. I wasn't sure what that exactly meant.
Okay. Let's say a person stole money during a previous lifetime. Now that money is not his. He's got to give it back because it's not his. So he comes back to this world and he returns it in a different manner, whether it's through business, whether it's through a gift, or whatever it may be. There has to come full cycle for him to rectify what he did wrong. If he doesn't rectify it, then he's got to come back again. Right? The Gemara says about Gzela, it's a Gemara in Bava Kama. The Gemara says someone who steals from somebody else, Hashem says, it forces me to pay the guy back. I have to pay the guy back. Now, how is Hashem going to pay the guy back? Right? Through the reincarnation. They come back again, and he's paid back. I mean, that's one of the ways. There's other ways Hashem could do it, but this is one of the ways. Okay? Loud and clear.
I have a hard time, like Mashiach, the idea of Mashiach almost sounds too good to be true. You see the world is crazy, and it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. And hundreds of years ago they already said we're at the end, and they were davening and it just didn't come, and didn't come, and didn't come. So the first thing is I just wrestle with the idea of like, that it can actually happen. You see how far the world is and how crazy the world, it just seems to get worse and worse. And you talk to people like this is the worst it's ever been. And then in 10 years, this is the worst it's ever been. And just keeps getting crazier and crazier. And also why, if Mashiach is such a big idea, why is it not brought down in like the Tanakh, in the Chamish Chumshei Torah? Why is like it just, we learn it out through like ways, but if it's such a fundamental idea, why is it kind of not such an obvious thing?
Okay, so let's take the first part of that question first. Mashiach, is he real? It sounds surreal, whatever. Mashiach is real, and it will happen. Now let's take I'll take a piece of Likutei Halachos from Reb Nosson. It's an amazing piece. Reb Nosson says, the pasuk in Kollel, Ani barosi es ha'odam yoshor, v'heima bikshu cheshbonos rabim. It's Kollel, chapter 7, the end of the chapter. He says, Hashem says, I created man upright. Man, Odom, right? Vehema, but when they became two, they started thinking and looking for different factions, different ideas. Rashi explains there that one person by himself is emes. You are who you are. Finished. Once you have somebody else, then the world turns to sheker, to falsehood. Why? Because this person says this, and you have to act like this, and you have to follow the crowd this way, you have to follow this person's ideas, right? So everything becomes sheker because it's not you, right? And we all follow something, okay? So Reb Nosson says, take a look. In his time, there were what, a billion people in the world? I don't know, is this 150, 200 years ago? Today there's 8 billion people in the world. And Reb Nosson says, every person that increases in the world, there's more sheker, right? Is that clear?
Yeah.
The more people, there's more sheker. Right? What's the statement? Fake news or stuff like that, right? Everyone's looking, everyone makes their own news, their own things. Fake, everything is fake, right? Pasuk says, Emes me'eretz titzmach. Truth will sprout from the ground. Right? Can I? Huh?
Truth will sprout.
Truth will sprout from the ground. Right? It'll come. So now you ask yourself, how is anybody ever supposed to figure out the truth? Like you're asking, the world is crazy, right? And take a look at what goes on with the Palestinians, with all this kind of stuff, all the newspapers, all they write. Is any of it true? No. But everyone follows it. So how are you ever going to get to the truth? How could you ever get to the truth? Says Reb Nosson that the fact is that the more sheker, the more falsehood that is spread throughout the world, the people themselves will get disgusted with all the falsehood, and they're going to start looking for the truth. Right? So that people will eventually realize that there's emes, there is truth in the world, and they're going to start looking for it, which is what we're faced with now. We're faced with such a situation now, right? So now, if you take the concept of Mashiach, is a reality. Whatever the Psukim, the Tanakh, says about the future, that's all about Mashiach. Take Yeshaya, the book of Yeshaya. We had 7 Haftarahs now from Tisha B'Av, right? Each one telling you a different consolation for what went on, for all the tzoros that the Jews suffered. They're going to have all these consolations, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But Mashiach, he's waiting for us, right? As the Gemara says, this idea of Mashiach is waiting for us to do tshuva. Now, do you see the world doing tshuva yet?
No.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
parts, yes.
Yeah. But there's more Bali tshuva today than 20 years ago. No question about it. But is everyone doing tshuva?
No, on the
Not
scale
yet.
of things, yeah.
You have the left and you have the right, right? Or the left and the right. Okay. Point is that this is what the world is about now, right? People are fighting for what they believe in. They believe in this, right? And you have to be able to look for the truth, search for the truth. What is the truth? Hashem Elokeichem Emes. God is truth. If you look for Hashem, you'll find him. If you look for Hashem, he'll be there. He's there. He's there. He's a reality, right? Now, what's Mashiach going to do? Mashiach is going to bring this reality to the entire world. The falsehood, the fake news, or whatever else you want to call it, all this will evaporate. There's Ruach HaTumah Avim Min HaOretz. Yeshaya HaNavi says, the spirit of impurity I will remove from the world. And that's going to happen. And you never know. I'll tell you this, when I was a kid, in the 50s, growing up, right, the Catholic Church was incredibly powerful. It was one of the most powerful entities in the world. It's almost as strong as any powerful government, right? Today, the church is nothing. Take a look, the church is nothing. What happened? Falsehood is falling away, right? The Medrash says that every exile was doubled. Bavel had a country called Elam that supported them. Daniel was in Bavel, but he was also in Elam. That's what the Psukim tell us. So Bavel was coupled with Elam. In Persia took over Paras and Madai, right? You had Persia and Media. They were doubled. Yovan, Greece, was with Macedonia, right? The last exile is Edom, the church, and Yishmael, right? We are now in the throes of Yishmael, right? The Gemara in Sanhedrin says that Yishmael will rule over the world for 9 months. As far as I'm concerned, they're ruling over the world for 9 years already, right? Whatever, they have oil and they have nothing else. There's not one thing you could show me that Islam has contributed to the world. Nothing. Show me anything, right? Only they have oil. And the oil was not discovered by Islam. It was discovered by European countries. Shell, I think, was the first country, the first company from the Netherlands, and then they had Texaco and others that came in there, they discovered the oil. So Islam is very powerful today, only because they have oil. Take away the oil from them, right? Nobody would look at them. They didn't look at them before they discovered the oil, so they won't look at them, right? But that's the power that they have, right? It's something, right? This will end. It will end. When? I don't know. I wish I knew.
It's not. It's like if he's waiting for us all to do tshuva, it just looks like that's going to be a long time.
Yes, it looks like it, but it won't be that long. It can't. First of all, the world was created to last 6,000 years, and we're already 5,785, tonight 86, right? So we only have a couple of hundred years to go. That's the best, right? That's the worst, rather, right? The fact is that it's happening now in the world. There is a search. People are searching, whether it's Yidden, whether it's Goyim. People are searching for something. They're looking for something to latch onto, right? That's what people are looking for today, to latch onto something, but they don't know what to latch onto. We, as Jews, know we can latch onto Hashem. There is a problem. You have Reform Jews. They can come up and say, free Palestine. I mean, it drives me crazy just to think that a Jew would ever say anything about the Arabs, right, after what they've done. Take a look at the Arabian history. It's 1,500 years or something like that, right? It's full of blood. Their entire history is full of blood, right? You want proof? Take a look at Sudan. Take a look at Syria. Take a look at Lebanon. Take a look at Iraq, Iran, Yemen, any of the places. They kill each other. That's all Arabia is blood, nothing less, right? That's Arabia. But people are looking, well, what's going on? What's happening in the world? No, we can't. Mashiach will come and he will settle this, right? He will take care of everything. There's a guy back there who had his hand up first, right? All right, anyway, whatever the case is, Mashiach is real. Why isn't he mentioned? He's mentioned in Tanakh right? There's a pasuk that says Mashiach, but there the pasuk is talking about Koresh, the king of Media, whatever. But point is, Mashiach is a known fact, and he's mentioned he was created before the world. He took upon himself the responsibility to rectify the world, and that's what he will do. And that's what's happening. If you want to believe in Emunus Chachomim, right, you take a look at what Rabbi Nachman taught. Rabbi Nachman said once, I could do the same thing that Moshiach is going to do, except that the Moshiach, they're going to listen to him. That's what he said, right? But you take a look at what Rabbi Nachman is teaching the people throughout the world, right? And what does he have? I've had letters from Goyim. They appreciate Rabbi Nachman, right? Letters from Jews from who knows where. They appreciate it. Why? Because Rabbi Nachman is teaching you a way of life, how to connect with Hashem. That's all. Okay? The guy back there had his hand up. No? Okay.
You said to ask,
Loud and clear.
you said to ask anything. This is a sort of two-part question. I've been thinking recently.
Loud and clear.
I've been thinking recently about the Arizal and his Chaim Vital, Rabbi Chaim Vital, and Rabbi Nachman and Rabbi Nassim. Is there a connection in the souls of these two great?
Every Rebbe wasn't worth his salt unless he had a Talmud. Moshe Rabbeinu had Yehoshua, right? Reb Shimon ben Yochai in the Zoya had his group, right? In the Gemara, throughout the Gemara, you'll find something interesting, that the great tzaddikim, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Hillel, whoever you want to choose, right? You'll notice that it was his student that took over the reins after that rabbi passed away, right? Because every rabbi has to have a student in order to further his teachings. Rabbi Nachman has Reb Nosson, the Rizal had Reb Chaim Vital, right? The Baal Shem Tov had the Maggid of Mizrich. Rabbi Nachman has Reb Nosson, and Reb Nosson is bringing Rabbi Nachman's Torah to us. Right? If you want to see how, buy the Likutei Halachos.
Is there any significance to why the Chaim Vital is buried in Syria, in Damascus?
The significance is that he was pursued by the Arabs and he had to flee from Tzfas and run to Damascus. That's why he's buried in Damascus. Right? Now there's a whole, I don't know, balagan, you can call it. People say that many years ago, in the 50s, there were Jews who got permission to rebury Reb Chaim Vital in Kiryat Malachi or Kiryat Gat or something like that. There are people who say that. I don't know. I know that he was buried in Damascus, and I don't know more than that. The people say, let him talk. It may be true, maybe not.
The people who were yelling free.
Loud and clear.
Jews who were yelling free Palestine.
Yeah?
Are these the Erev Rav?
Are they the Erev Rav?
And what do we think about them? When you see them marching on the street with our enemies, and you're on the other side of the street, what are you thinking about them? Shoot them.
They couldn't be. They couldn't be anything else but the Erev Rav. The Zoya. Huh?
They can't be a Tinuk Shenishba?
No. They're Jewish neshamas, Erev Rav, right? The Zoya says that prior to Mashiach's coming, the Erev Rav, they wanted to lead Am Yisrael. Nitna Rosh v'nashuva Mitzrayim. Let's get ahead and let's go back to Egypt. That's what the Erev Rav said, right? They will be given that opportunity in this generation, the generation prior to Mashiach's coming. And that's why you have all the Reform and Conservative and the Knesset members, pardon me if I say it, they're all Erev Rav, right? Because they're not supporting the Torah. Okay? That's where they come from, right? That anyone could even think a Jew should say free Palestine, Has to be one of the most far-fetched things that exist on the planet.
And there's one fellow over here suggested.
What?
One fellow over here suggested, shoot him.
Huh?
He suggested that we shoot them.
All right, let's not, I don't want to be accused, I don't want to be maligned, I don't want to be in the newspapers, so leave, you want to shoot them, you shoot them. Don't leave me out of it, all right?
Is there a
I have my own opinion, but I'm not going to say it. Loud and clear.
Can Rob explain why we have to, in any,
Loud and clear.
any avoda that we do, not just saying Tikkun HaKlali, that we bind ourselves to every Nachman before we do tefillah, learn Torah, do any mitzvah. The Arizal taught Rav Chaim Vital that he should say Akiva, Akiva, Akiva to bind his soul root to Rabbi Akiva before he did tefillah and etc. So for this generation, Rabbi Nachman is the Tikkun of the generation, right? So we keep the him. So can you explain that connection?
For anything that you do,
That's what I was thought.
okay. There is a Mishnah which was given at Sinai, and you have the Gemara which was given at Sinai. It's a Gemara in the beginning of Brachos, and these are the Chachamim, the Tzaddikim, who led the Jewish nation at that time. Okay? So far, so good? Okay? So now, when we try to fulfill the Torah, right? How do we know how to fulfill the Torah? Torah says, put the tefillin between your eyes, and we don't do that. Why not? Because the Chachamim were the ones who received the Torah and knew what the law really is. Okay? So when you follow the Shulchan Aruch, what you're doing is following the tzaddikim. You're attaching yourself to the tzaddikim. Follow? So far, so good? Okay. So now, if I want to serve Hashem with the best possible feelings that I can, right? I study Rabbi Nachman, and because of what I learned from Rabbi Nachman, I now know what to do, how to go about doing it, how to go about performing these mitzvahs the best way I could. Follow? Okay, does that answer the question?
I'm not saying to not learn. That's explaining to learn what Rabbi Nachman's teaching in order to do the mitzvahs. But I'm saying literally say
like before taking a call.
Like before taking a
Arena
call.
Makasher. Arena Makasher.
You can say Arena Makasher, you don't have to say it. Up to you. No one's forcing you to say, I'm attaching myself to Rabbi Nachman.
No, of course. I'm just trying to understand it because.
But it said because I want to do it. I want to do it according to the way Rabbi Nachman teaches, not the way I, who have made mistakes in my life, interpret it on my own. I want to follow the person who did it right from the beginning. Okay? Questions? Go ahead. Loud and clear.
Okay. This idea of Tikkun HaBris, Zerah Lavatala, why is it so hidden in the Torah? Why is it like a chiddush for people who
You don't find it anywhere except his own.
Right, that's my
You find
question.
it nowhere.
I didn't hear. Why is it
hidden from the Torah in the Chumshei Torah? This concept of Zerah Lavatala.
of?
He's asking why it's not,
Okay.
not explicitly written in the
All right.
You find it first in his own.
Again, a very sensitive question, right? And frankly, it's It's hidden because it's considered the worst sin. All right? Now, you have that in Even Ezer. It says it's very clearly, I think it's Siman Chav Gimel or Chav Hey, but he says there that Zera Levatola is the absolute worst sin. The commentaries right away challenge that. You know, staying with a Nida, right?
Murder.
Staying with a Goya. There are things that seem worse.
What about murder?
Yeah.
Murder.
What?
Murder.
Murder. Okay, so we're coming to that. Okay?
I mean, isn't being with the Nida Zer Levatala into a Nida?
There's a lot of different angles to this. But let's take it on the surface. Okay, the easiest way till we get. Sperm has live, every seed has live sperm in it. Right? If that goes to waste, it's considered murder. Zoya, very clear in it. Right? Rashi alludes to it in the Chumash with Yehuda's two children and whatnot. That's the way they acted, and that's what happened. I'll go back in time to Adam HaRishon. Adam HaRishon, right? What did he do? He ate from the tree of knowledge, right? The Gemara in Eruvin, Gemara Yudches, you want to look it up. The Gemara says that Adam HaRishon spilled seed for 130 years until Shes, his son, was born, right? The Arizal explains, the Zoya, the Ari, that all the seed that he spilled then became the souls of the Jews who were exiled in Egypt. And they had to suffer backbreaking labor in order to begin the rectification of Adam's sin. Right? Now this is a Gemara with Zoyas and it's the act of spilling seed is considered murder because you're taking live sperm and you're throwing it out. If it goes into a body, right, a nida, a shivcha, a goya, a zona, whatever the case is, it may produce something. So it's not lost. It's not as terrible as being lost completely. Follow? Now, it's hidden because the power, if were it to be revealed and spoken about all the time, would have brought about more of that sin. As it is now, scientists, psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever, they promote it. They promote it. They promote murder. Now, the Gemara in Nida, Mem Gimel, if you want to check it out, the Gemara says there that sperm does not leave the body unless it first takes with it something from the entire body. Now, the Zoya explains, the Ari, that the initial thought of committing a sexual act begins where? In the brain. Right? The brain is called Chochma Ubina or Keser, the highest of the spheres. It runs through the entire body till it comes to Yesod, and then it goes out. So that the entire body is involved with a sexual act. Okay? And if it goes to waste, what did you waste? Your mind. Take a look at the world today, the way it looks. Take a look at the way people act today. Why? Because they have all blemished their minds. All. It's promoted. It's promoted. This sin is promoted. And that's why Rabbi Nachman brought out the Tikkun HaKlali. He says to help rectify it. Now you find in Zoya, the Zoya says there is absolutely no tshuva for this sin. No tshuva. Impossible to do tshuva for this sin. 2 pages later, the Zohar says you can do tshuva. You can. But what? We have to do a lot of tshuva. A lot of tshuva. The Rishonim talk about it hiddenly, like you asked. The Rishonim talk about it hiddenly. The Arizal speaks a lot about it. It's very important in many places in the Kisvei Ari, right? In the Baal Shem HaKodesh, all the tzaddikim, the Chidah example says a person works hard and he sweats for Pesach, preparing matzahs, he rectifies the sin. It's a rectification. I mean, so the Chidah was time of the Baal Shem Tov. And you have various tzaddikim throughout the generations that proposed a rectification for this sin. They proposed, but they didn't complete it. Rabbi Nachman said, Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz, who was a generation before Rabbi Nachman, recognized that you need 10 chapters of Tillim to rectify the sin. But he didn't merit to find which 10 chapters they are. Rabbi Nachman said, Hashem helped me, I found these 10 chapters. I reached them. But it was a process from Odom Barishon till Rabbi Nachman to find a rectification for this sin. Right? That's 5,500 years. A lot of years. Right? Because why is it hidden? Because it's the worst sin in the world. And that's what's being promoted today, which is why you take a look at people's minds today, you realize why they're all so, in Yiddish we say fachadet, they're all smoked up.
Do you have other examples of where the worst things that they're not in the Torah because people will do them more? I don't understand that concept.
Say that again.
Someone say it.
Say it again.
Do you have more examples of why, since it's so bad, it's not mentioned? It seems counterintuitive. If it's so bad, then it should be openly mentioned. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
No. The more you talk about sex in front of people, the more they're aroused to people. Right? So you have to hide it. You have to keep it down. Okay?
Someone mentioned yesterday, I don't know if it's true, that's why I'm asking, that Nachman lost children because of the process of revealing Tikkun Kollel. Is that true?
Not just Tikkun Kollel. Rabbi Nachman, it's the Sichos Haran. Rabbi Nachman said, Rabbi Nachman lost a daughter, and he said like this, the Arizal lost a son. There's a certain secret, it's found in Shara Kavonos on this, about the 7th day of Pesach, that the Arizal revealed this miracle, this understanding, this Torah about Kriyas Yamsuf it had to do with to Reb Chaim Vital. He revealed the mystery of it. And he said, please don't ask me about this. Reb Chaim Vital insisted. Reb Arizal said he came down to the world to rectify the soul of Reb Chaim Vital, so he was forced to teach him. And because he taught him, his son died. The Arizal's son, if you ever in Tzfas, the Arizal's son is buried right at the foot.
What's the fact? Why?
What?
He came for a tikkun.
But let him finish.
He came for a tikkun, so why did he lose a kid?
Oh, because there are certain things that are not supposed to be revealed, and if they are revealed, there's punishment for it. It's too much for the world to bear, right? Rabbi Nachman said, I have revealed to you many, many secrets, and therefore I suffer. He lost 4 children during his lifetime, right? And afterwards, one daughter that never had children, right? So he suffered. He suffered. He said, I suffered because I revealed so many secrets, so much Torah.
Better he shouldn't have revealed it.
Louder.
Better he should not have revealed it.
It's better he revealed it. But he had to suffer.
That's also counterintuitive.
That's what it sounds like. But that's what the Eibishter, he says over there in that Sikha, he says, that's why you can never understand Hashem's ways. You could never understand. The Arizal had to reveal the secret. He revealed it. He was punished. Right? Yeah? Go figure it out. Right? You don't know what Hashem has in mind. Right?
Does the Rav have any tips to?
Does
the Rav have any tips to enjoy?
the Rav? My name is Chaim. Does Chaim have any?
Does Chaim have any tips on how to enjoy davening over the next few days?
How to enjoy davening? Try understanding the words that you're saying. Right? When you realize what the words you're saying have so much power, are so beautiful, you will be happier to say it. Right? Just look at the beautiful words of davening. Any questions?
How do we balance? It's supposed to be a joyful day, and it's supposed to be a day of fear at the same time. I've heard many of different ways to explain it, but none of them.
Shulchan Aruch says that when you leave shul, you should go with a happy heart, because we know that Hashem is looking for our best. He's looking to make us have a good year. That's what he wants. What will be, I have no idea. But be happy that Hashem is the one who's judging you. Right? You're a judge. You're before a judge. Right? A judge can do anything. Right? But be happy that Hashem is judging you, because we believe that Hashem is going to judge favorably.
So, on Rosh
Loud and clear.
Hashanah, are there things we should include or should avoid including in our Hisbodedus? In other words, how should our Hisbodedus from Rosh Hashanah be different than when we do Hisbodedus during the week or on Shabbos?
The davening on Rosh Hashanah is very different than any other time of the year. Because if you notice, in the Machzor, you don't ask for anything personal on Rosh Hashanah, right? You're standing before the judge. You have a record. Judge is looking at you and your record, and this guy has the chutzpah to come here and ask me for this, right? So we don't ask for anything personal on Rosh Hashanah, right? We praise Hashem, we recognize Hashem as King of the world, and we try to put ourselves in a mental situation of servitude to the King of the world. That's 2 days Rosh Hashanah. The rest of the year, the sky's the limit. Ask whatever you want.
But could we, for example, say, like, if I do Hisbodedus tonight, could I say, Hashem, give me kavanah to daven tomorrow? Hashem.
You could ask for it, yeah.
Those kind of things.
You could ask for it, but be careful how you say it.
A person spent all this money, came all the way to Uman, he's here in Uman. These days he can't ask for his parnasa, for kids, for refuah.
You have time before Rosh Hashanah, you have time after Rosh Hashanah.
But isn't Rosh Hashanah when
Not
it's decided?
on, that it's decided, but it's decided by the boss, not the worker.
But Rebbe in Avinu Malkeinu, there's a
Leave Avinu Malkeinu, that was written by Rebbe Kiva, right? You have it, you say it. You say it, but you don't say it directly. The David Mizmor doesn't ask for parnasa, right? Avinu Malkeinu does, right? But that's because it's a tefillah of a tzibur. A tefillah of a tzibur is never rejected.
But after the David Mizmor, there's also a section.
Yeah, okay.
Parnasa. It's personal.
Yeah. So ask for it, because you said the David Mizmor, which was a public tefillah, right? Not private.
But you can ask, like, help me be able to learn Torah all day long.
You can ask, yeah. You can ask anything spiritual. Stay away from Gashmias. Stay away from it.
Isn't being Mamli HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by crowning him the king, a way of that recognition is a way also of expressing what your Hashem knows what your needs are.
Yeah.
By being Mamli him, he will.
Yeah, he'll take care of you. Okay? Any questions?
I have a is there a place for political activism? Meaning to try to make videos to explain our position as Jews and to combat anti-Semitism. I personally feel like the fact that we have to explain ourselves proves that it's a lost battle, because it should be so obvious that Jews are good. Is there a place for us to be putting out content and videos explaining our position and why Jews are really good, and why Israel is really good, or is it a lost cause and we should
It's a
focus
lost
on,
cause. I would not bother with it. Any political activism is a no-no in my world. I don't know anybody else's world.
I'm using the word political activism.
Yeah, yeah,
explaining
that's saying
our rights.
explaining. Did they ever accept it?
No.
Did they ever accept any claim that you made?
No, not really.
Did they ever explain Netanyahu or Peres or anyone else before that? Was it ever accepted? The UN? Did they ever accept? Right?
No.
There's no room for it. Our mission.
So what's our
Mission, if you wish to accept it, right?
Mission Impossible, right there.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Is turn to Hashem. Ask Hashem to help us. Right? And that's what I do. Right? All this other garbage, put a video, put it this, put it that, they couldn't care less. They couldn't care less about what you have to say. Right? Danny Danon, who was the Israeli ambassador to the UN, is there fighting an entire General Assembly, right? And they don't listen to him either. He says it like it is. It's honest, it's true, and they couldn't care less what he says. So why? Why bother? I say that Israel should leave the UN, but that's a different story. Right? Why waste? Look how much money goes into the. Look how much money goes into the holding up a ambassadorship over there.